Hi, Bashar. My question is, do we all have the ability to channel higher beings, as Darryl does for you? Or do we have to reach a certain stage of enlightenment before that opportunity happens? Or is it something that we can just simply tune in and tap into? Thank you.
Not everyone needs to channel other beings, but everyone can channel, whether it be the idea of an artistic expression, or whether it be another portion of your own consciousness or your own higher mind. When you are doing what you love to do, you are in a channeling state. But whatever it is you bring through from that state doesn't necessarily have to be a connection to another being. That is simply something that is made by agreement. It can happen. Everyone has the general potential for that, but not everyone has made an agreement to do it that way. So you have to find your own way of bringing it through, whatever you are attracted to. Synchronicity will bring you the opportunities to allow you to express it in the way that works best for you according to the agreements you have made to explore the themes in this life. So just follow your passion, follow the formula, and see what synchronicity brings you as the way in which being in the channeling state may need to be expressed that is relevant for you.
Hi, Bashar.
Good day, good day.
So I have chosen to serve people in the form of being a relationship coach.
Oh, all right. How exciting.
Thank you. And I do this through the teachings of masculine and feminine energies and the dichotomy of that in relationships.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that I'm not spreading any misinformation. I was wondering if you could clarify how the duality of masculine and feminine energies applies to the relationship dynamics romantically.
Well, the idea is for each side to be reflected what they need to allow for a balance to occur on each side of both masculine and feminine energy in each individual. Does that make sense?
So if is it correct to say that I guess men operating from more feminine or wounded feminine energy are imbalanced and therefore need to attract partners that will reflect that imbalance?
The idea is that each male and each female contains the ability of the opposite, contains the reflections of the opposite. And to balance them and bring them out equally in each individual is the key. So that males have a balance of masculine and feminine energy, not meaning that they literally become more feminine, but they are able and willing to express more of the receptive energies, whereas the females in balance can express more of the idea of the assertive energies that are commonly associated with males on your planet. So that each individual in the relationship is a balance of both. And they will usually attract into their lives, whether they know it or not, whether they take advantage of it or not, those individuals who will reflect to each what they need to achieve that balance within themselves.
When that balance is reached, is that usually when partners stay together or?
Maybe. It doesn't mean that they have to. It can be that that was what they needed to achieve and then they move on to something else. So it's not necessarily absolutely expected that they have to stay together, but there is certainly a higher probability that they can if they continue to serve each other in that way. Does that help?
Absolutely, yes.
All right.
Is there a technique or strategy that I can use as a coach in my one-on-one sessions to best reflect back to my clients what they need to know at that time to help them reframe their mindset to move forward?
Well, you can ask them what their definition of the opposite energy is, and you can get them to explore any fear-based beliefs that surround it so they can be willing to let those fear-based beliefs go about the incorporation of the duality. Does that make sense?
Could you clarify it a bit?
In other words, let's say you are, for example, dealing with a male individual who is exhibiting a lot of masculine energy, but not very much of the feminine side. You can engage them in a conversation to ask them what their definition would be, how they see, how they view, how they define the idea, what it means to them if they were to incorporate more of the feminine energy within themselves, to see if their definition is something that actually is representative of balance, or if their definition out of fear is representative of something that is not in balance, that they have an erroneous definition of what that balance would look like, so that you can begin to explore what their definitions of the balance would actually be like, so that they can lose the fear of incorporating the balance within themselves by having a more harmonious definition of what would happen should they do so. Did that make more sense?
Yes. And in the case where a male that is has less feminine heart-centered energy, and I run into this problem where clients don't often experience emotions and are shut down, I don't know how to help guide them through that situation through online interactions.
All right. Well, again, the questions is fundamentally, what are they afraid would happen if they actually allowed themselves to feel those emotions? What are they afraid the outcome of that would be? To get them to start exploring, if they're willing to start exploring what the outcomes they're afraid would happen if they did in fact allow their emotions to be more expressed. And then perhaps you will have some information to go off of, if they're willing to admit it.
Okay.
If they're not, there's not much you can do for them.
How does one know when they found that partner? So I know I've seen a video where you said that the purpose of relationships is to reflect one another, what one needs to know to become more of themselves. How do you know that you are the version of yourself that is ready to commit and has learned that lesson?
You will feel freer. You will feel lighter in the presence of a person who serves you that way if you're willing to be open to it. You will actually feel more like yourself. You have heard this phrase on your planet uttered in those kinds of relationships where people say, I feel more like me in your presence. I feel I can be expressive of who I truly am when you're around. That kind of feeling is usually a reflection of when someone is serving you to be more of yourself, because they are not judging you. They are accepting you for who you are and accepting whatever processes you may need to go through to discover more clearly who you are. And so that usually translates as feeling free to be yourself in that relationship, whatever that means at the moment. Free to explore being more. It's a lightness of feeling. It's a lightness and feeling of freedom.
Okay.
Does that help you at all?
Yes, that was very beautiful and poetic. I loved it.
All right.
How accurate is using astrology? Is it something
depends on the person. It depends on the person. Remember that all things in physical reality are permission slips. Some permission slips work for people and some don't. It depends on whether it aligns with your belief system. If it does, it will work for you. If you're attracted to use it, the attraction is usually a sign that it's aligning with your belief system and will work for you. Ultimately, of course, you realize you are the ultimate permission slip because you're the one making the changes anyway, and that eventually you no longer need the permission slip itself to make those changes. But it can illuminate sometimes and reflect to you some of the things that are going on within your consciousness because you believe it is something that can work for you. So it depends on the person and what their belief system is about that particular permission slip. And remember, all those things are reflections. They're not causes.
Okay. My last question is, what do I need to know at this moment that will help me in my journey of helping others through what I do?
What you need to know is that a healer simply provides an opportunity to explore options that the person needing to be healed needs to match and align with in order to heal themselves. A healer never heals anyone directly. but they give the person the opportunity to heal themselves. Whatever a person does with whatever it is you share with them is none of your business. You have done all you can just by providing the option and the opportunity to match the frequency you're giving off in order for that person to decide to heal themselves. It's not that they have to do that, and many people may come to you with different agendas, including the inability to heal themselves. So you have still given them what they came for. So you have to relax the idea that you need to heal everyone and save everyone, because you can't do that. You can only provide them with the option that someday they may incorporate within themselves when they are ready to do so. Does that lighten the issue for you?
Yes. Thank you so much, Bashar.
You are so welcome. Aveo.
Hello, Bashar from Switzerland. I had a question regarding the hybridization agenda that you mentioned, that we can choose to become the sixth hybrid race. And I'm asking, what is so beneficial for us to become this hybrid race, since we are mixing our DNA with a race that went through a negative path? Of course, they went through a big transformation, but what are we gaining from becoming this hybrid race, since we are receiving a lot of downloads and information from you, but in terms of the DNA exchange, what is the win situation for us? Thank you for your reply. Have a nice day.
You have a misunderstanding. You are not mixing DNA with a group that went through a negative path. You're mixing with the hybrids who have never experienced that path. The grays experience the negativity, but the hybrids have not. Therefore, you are mixing with a different form of humanity that has never experienced negativity. That is what helps you uplift. That is what raises your vibration, is taking advantage of the information and perspectives of a group of beings that are a different form of human, that have only experienced the idea of positive vibrations that move you forward in your evolutionary path to becoming the sixth hybrid race, which is simply another way of saying that you are functioning fully, more fully as human beings, which most of you actually aren't yet fully human.
Hello, Bashar and everyone.
Good day, good day.
I had a dream that I'd like to get your insight on.
All right.
I was traveling to and moving into an abandoned southwestern home. I went to the kitchen and opened up a rectangular door about 3 foot long, and there was a diminutive alien skeleton in it that was glowing orange, had an orange metallic tunic, Native American beads, a feather headdress with red, white, blue, yellow, orange feathers that were mottled. It certainly wasn't of this world. I opened the oven and another skeleton was in flames, but I don't think it was being consumed. This felt like a very deeply sacred and spiritual experience that I felt honored to be a part of. And it's just kind of baffled me. It just impacted me so much. Do you have any thoughts or comments?
Yes. What you experience to some degree is a recognition and a perception of the interaction between some ancient extraterrestrial beings and the indigenous tribes of your Southwest in the past. Many indigenous tribes, many indigenous peoples on your planet have had contact with extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional beings for hundreds, if not thousands of years. The irony is that while many people on your planet are waiting for open contact, many indigenous peoples have had open contact for quite a long time. It's just that in their cultures, they don't necessarily share that readily with other cultures who don't know that's going on. And in the cultures that don't know it's going on, their belief systems often prevent them from accepting the fact that that's been happening in the indigenous cultures. So on one level, you're perceiving the fact that this has been going on for quite some time. You're picking up on some very ancient vibrations, ancient encounters. represented by the blending of those ET forms with ancient Atlantean and Aztecan kinds of regalia that they are wearing, which represents the idea of the blending and the interactions and connections between the two, and how many ancient indigenous peoples are actually the ancestors of some of those extraterrestrial beings. The idea of the being on fire in the oven is a representation of the kind of power and energy that they bring with them in coming from one dimension, one reality, to another. You are perceiving a connection between your physical reality and a different reality being expressed to you in those symbolic forms with connections to these ancient extraterrestrial consciousnesses. Does that help you?
Yes, wow, that's so powerful. Thank you.
Yes.
In December of 2010, I woke up and received a download, and it was elements of this incredible story, an iconic mythical figure of modern times that has a connection with Atlantis. And I could see this story being like a combination of the magic of Harry Potter with the intrigue of the Da Vinci Code and an epic tale of Lord of the Rings. I could see the story being shared to share spiritual concepts in an entertaining way. I've spent years researching Atlantis, the Tuatha De Danann, High Brazil, ancient civilizations, megalithic cultures, and I'm just stuck. I've not been able to write. I'm a good writer, but I write usually like marketing materials. Fiction and character development, I'm just having a hard time. But my research has led me to you. And I'm just wanting to know, maybe is my purpose to the journey to be here, or am I to write this? I'm stuck. I don't know what to do.
All right, you can write it, but are you familiar with the idea of story structure?
Well, no, not really.
All right. So it might be of assistance to you to investigate the concept of story structure, because in the telling of any tale, in the telling of any story, it is highly critical, highly important to make sure you are following story structure, because story structure is built into the psyche of humanity. And if you tell a story with the salient points, the salient, shall we say, beats of a story structure that are built into your psyche, then people will remember the story. It will feel authentic. If you miss any of those beats, it won't feel authentic. It won't resonate. This is why stories last for thousands of years, because if the pattern is followed of story structure, it resonates with that structure in all of your psyches. So we would suggest that you investigate the idea of story structure and follow that general outline. Get used to the understanding of what kind of beats need to be in a story, how they need to be presented, when they need to be presented. Then you can loosen up the structure a little bit according to the way your intuition will drive the story forward. But following the structure in general is highly important to tell the story in the correct way. Since you don't have a framework for what story structure is, that may be where you're getting slowed down.
Yeah, it was some great elements, but I just don't know how to proceed. I have a main character, but I don't have anything else. So.
All right. Well, again, story structure can inform you as to what the main character needs to go through in order for it to seem relevant to your readers. You may avail yourself of many books that exist in your society about story structure, one of the most popular being the idea called The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one. So, yes.
Have you read it? Have you read it?
No, but I am familiar with Joseph Campbell. I've read several of his books. So.
All right. Well, you have not read The Hero's Journey then?
No.
All right. That is the one specifically that outlines the idea of story structure. You can also
I'll look into that.
You can also avail yourself of several that are connected to the idea of the film industry, because they also talk about the importance of story structure even though it may be presented in filmic terms.
Yeah.
So
Great. Thank you.
familiarize
Thank you
yourself
very
with that.
much.
And when you understand the story structure, it will inform your character and inform you as to what your character needs to experience.
Wonderful. So after this download, I made a commitment to it that I would follow wherever that took me. And a
Yes.
few months later, my longtime marriage ended. And just kind of to summarize briefly, I kind of went into a dark night of the soul.
How
One morning
exciting.
I woke up and there was an energetic presence.
Yes.
And immediately Paul McCartney's song, Let It Be, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary will come to me. And I just got this overwhelming sense of unconditional love.
Yes.
And then a few minutes later, I had a vision of a woman in a scarlet dress who was a very strong, spirited woman, but also very loving. And these experiences just baffled me. A couple of days later, I was in a state of well-being and bliss immediately, but that lasted a couple of days. And I knew this was real because my reality had been completely altered.
Yes. It's up to you to continue the vibration once you've been exposed to it. All you have to do is remember what that felt like when that vision came to you, and you're actually back in that frequency, even though it may feel different.
What is the origin of these? I just called it energetic presence, but
yes, but you called upon the idea of Mary as a reflection, but not the Mother Mary. You called upon the Magdalene.
Okay.
Hence the scarlet
Wonderful.
dress.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Thus,
final. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, thus the idea of standing within your self-empowerment, being the one to tell the stories, being the one to hold the information, the one to spread it among the people. This is what the Magdalene was responsible for, in taking the information that was provided by the individual known as Jesus and spreading it among the disciples. The Magdalene was the primary disciple responsible for spreading the information. So you are calling upon her fortitude to spread the information that you need to spread. She is encouraging you to move forward with that.
Well. Final question.
Yes.
So I live in an area in Southern Illinois that's nicknamed Little Egypt.
Yes.
We have towns named Luxor, Thebes, Karnak, Cairo. Comically, also, I live in a town that had the motto, hub of the universe.
Yeah.
I live in a small town. I'm not Midwest, not hub of the earth or galaxy, hub of the universe.
Yes.
Is this just small town egocentric thinking, or is there something to this and the Little Egypt theme?
You know there is something to it, and that's why you're there. So it helps you with your connections, the connections you have made to aid and assist you in this life to move forward in your themes of exploration and your expression of your passion. So it gives you a kind of a center balance point from which you can expand yourself, from which you can express yourself. So it is usable and recognizable as the energy of a vortex that you can draw upon to center yourself, balance yourself, and come from your center to be the hub of your universe.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bashar. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for our community here.
Our deep appreciation to you as well. Please move forward with your truth.
Thank you.
Good day.
Hi, Bashar. Quick question. At a session with you, you confirmed that I had hybrid children and that I was being taken by the Greys. I went to a hypnotist to try to have some memories of any of those instances. There was nothing that came up. I've watched shows where people had remembrances of being on a ship and having DNA taken and had scary experiences. Was I just not supposed to remember any experiences? Was all the memories erased, or what happens in those instances where you can't pull up any information? Thank you so much.
It may be that it is not appropriate for you to remember certain incidents. At the same time, it may simply be engineered to be time released within you, so that when you do begin to remember, it gives an indication of when you may be ready for more information, like a barometer of how close you are to being more conscious of the contacts that will occur in the future. So you can try to retrieve these messages and memories that you were given in those experiences. If they don't come, don't worry about it. If it is necessary for you to know, you will know when the timing is right. If it isn't necessary, you won't know it. But that doesn't really matter, and it won't stop you from experiencing the contact. Just keep moving forward in your life. Follow the formula. You will raise your frequency. And sometimes raising your frequency will give you the ability to remember things that have happened in the encounters you may have had. Good day.
Okay.
Good day.
My question, burning question is this. My mom and I were very close. I dream of her quite a bit. She passed in 2020. She went willingly and peacefully, meaning she had a stroke and didn't want to pursue fighting so much. She was 98.
Yes. She did not want to linger. Yes, we understand.
She was ready to go. Is she communicating with me? Because
yes,
I feel she is.
Yes, many spirits will. And very often it will happen in the dream state because your physical mind is kind of out of the way. And therefore it's easier for them to reach you in the dream state. But also look towards synchronicities that remind you of her. Those can also be representative of a communication from spirit. You never lose anyone when they transition over. It may be even that they are even more capable of helping you from the other side. So pay attention to the signs and symbols, because many people receive communications from spirits more often than they think.
And my dad, I wasn't as close, but I do dream about him. If, for example, I had a relapse and I dreamt about him the very next night, meaning I had a problem where I could have been hospitalized, but he came into my dream. Is he doing the same thing?
The spirits are always there for you. Remember, it's easier for them to know what's going on with you than it is for you to know what's going on with them, because they have a much broader view now. They will always be there to assist and guide you in any circumstance in your life where you need their help.
And since I'm so happy that you're taking all these calls, but okay, so I am Black and my husband is white, but his mom and my mom got along really well. And I dreamt that they had met in the spirit world. Is that
everyone that is physical starts in the spirit world, and you make these agreements, especially when it involves close family ties. You may be experiencing the physicalness of soul families. All of this happens by agreement in the spirit before it ever happens in physical reality. So anytime you experience a close relationship of any kind in physical reality, it is representative of a relationship that exists in spirit.
Thank you so much. I have one more. It's an off question. I wouldn't have asked it, but I was asked to ask you to ask it. Yes. So here it is. Is there a Jersey devil?
There are many different kinds of beings that are interdimensional. Yes, it does exist, but it is something that can pass sometimes into your reality and out of your reality. There are many forms of elemental beings and dimensional portals through which different kinds of beings can temporarily pass into your reality, but more often than not, they will pass back into their own reality from time to time as well, and only pay a temporary visit into your reality. So yes, the being does exist, but it comes from a different reality altogether.
Okay, I'm busy. And I heard you say something to somebody else about using your passion and following your passion.
Yes.
Is that because that's what I try to do? So.
Yes. It's important because Your higher mind, your non-physical higher mind, is attempting to guide you in your physical life. The idea is that it sends you messages and energy in the form that your body translates as the sensation of passion. So you know that it's telling you this is your next step. This is the next thing to do. This is who you really are. This is what you agreed to experience. So when you act on your passion, you're responding to the higher mind's message and saying, yes, I heard you, and I'm willing to take the actions necessary in physical reality to prove that I heard you and to be my true self. And then the higher mind can send you more opportunities to act on your passion, but you have to follow the whole formula, because it is acting on your passion to the best you can, with no insistence or assumption as to what the outcome ought to be, staying in a positive state no matter what happens so you can get a benefit from it, and examining your belief systems and letting go of the negative and fear-based ones. Those 5 steps are the entire formula that will allow you to align with your higher mind in the best possible way and allow you to be most representative of your true self and your true vibration while you're experiencing a physical life on Earth.
Thank you, because I do want I want to write a book. I'm in the midst of doing it. And there are a couple of other things that I want to achieve before I go. And
Yes.
I'm hoping to do that. I really am.
Right.
So you have encouraged me.
All right. We always give you unconditional love and unconditional encouragement to follow your passion, act it out, because the actions you take are the language of physical reality. Because you are physical, experiencing a physical reality, action is the language of physical reality. So doing the things that are representative of your passion is what makes the difference in your world and allows others to receive the benefit of those actions, of those gifts that you have to give.
Yes, I have 7 grandchildren that I hope to have benefit from whatever I do and whatever I've left behind.
All right.
So
well,
thank you so much, Bashar.
You can stop hoping and just do it. Someone will benefit.
Okay. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how lovely this is.
We are very grateful and appreciative of your interaction with us. Good day. Aveo.
Good day.
Hello, I have a question for Bashar. This is a little odd, but I'd like to know if I actually did contact Bashar through dowsing. I do dowsing with a pendulum, and I wanted to see if I could actually contact Bashar, and just a few days ago, Bashar did come through, and I asked a few questions. So my question to Bashar is, did I contact Bashar, and were my questions answered truthfully, or were the answers that I received from Bashar correct? I guess I'm not quite sure how to say that. But anyway, thank you very much, and I do appreciate this one-on-one request. Thank you.
You did not receive them from me personally. You may have tapped into our collective energy, the energy of the Sasani people. Unless you provide us with the answers you got, we cannot comment on the accuracy of them.
Hello, Bashar. This is Mirta. I have been having some fun dreams lately about magical animals. And in one of those dreams, a person that I know was he was able to communicate with a dog. And the dog was telling him about a peridot stone. So when I woke up, I was all excited about a peridot stone, and I ordered 3 of them online, and they just arrived, which is really nice. So I guess when something like that happens, I dream about something, and I feel like I want to, on the one hand, I want to honor it by giving it like a place in my physical reality as well. But I guess I'm also trying to find like how to connect my dream world and my physical reality more. And I was wondering what you can tell us about that. Like how do we get those two to start coming together? Thank you, Bashar.
Well, first by understanding that your physical reality is a dream. In fact, it's actually more of a dream than your dream reality, which is more real than physical reality. You have to reverse the understanding in your consciousness that you are, in fact, right now, still in spirit and you never leave it. You have to understand that you're dreaming that you've left. You're having a dream in spirit that you are not in spirit, and that is what physical reality is. So you have to understand and experience physical reality in the same way that you experience the idea of a dream. And when you start to become more lucid and aware that you're creating this dream that you call physical reality, then it can begin to appear more dreamlike. Not that it gets out of control, but it is more malleable, more flexible. Space and time will become more bendable, so to speak, more flexible, more collapsible. You will start to see physical reality as being less real. Again, you can continue to experience it, but you will realize that you have more control over exactly what happens. And therefore it becomes more dreamlike. So allowing yourself to start seeing physical reality in a more dreamlike way will help you realize that one is simply an extension of the other. Physical reality is simply an extension of the spirit world. It's just a different context. It's just a different perspective of it.
Hi, Bashar. The number 333 has been stalking me for many, many years. I believe my hybrid children are among the first 333. Can you confirm this for me? Thank you so much. Love you so much.
The number 333 is a representation of 333,000 cycles per second, which is the borderline between physical and non-physical reality. So you are giving yourself a perception of where you are heading as a species and how it is important to raise your frequency in order to be more vibrationally compatible with the hybrid children who have the ability to blend both spirit and physical realities into one being.
Loving light to the people in the area called Japan. Know that it is also a vibration that courses out from your heart in a radiating bubble at the speed of light, encompassing and engulfing the entire world. Even though your heart's focus may be today on Japan, all centers are connected through vortices, portals, all connected as one. And the energy you send to them will relay around your planet like a series of vibrant bells and chimes, ringing the true vibration of healing and health, light and love, and of inspiration and imagination to attract that information necessary to shift and change the reality in that area into something that will benefit all of the people of your planet, and not just what you call the humans, but all the people, the animals, the plants, the rocks, all beings of all kinds vibrate in harmony with this chiming resonance that you feel within you today, that you send forth with every heartbeat at the speed of light, encompassing each other, engulfing each other. As you send it through the planetary chakra of Mount Fuji in Japan to spread out to the world and all the other vortices and all the other chakras, to send a heartbeat of healing light to that area on your planet so that all may shift according to the highest possible vibration of love, the highest possible vibration of creation, for the benefit of all concerned, for those who wish and are willing to partake and harmonize with this vibration of light and love in that area and in every area of your world. But allow yourself now to focus your vibration on the area you call Japan and feel your heart open up to them. for they have allowed themselves to act as a representation and a reflection of the kind of changes that can occur on your planet very swiftly, and give you the opportunity and provide for you the opportunity to learn to label and define these things in a more positive way so that you can reap the benefit of such redefinition. They have been brave and bold enough to allow themselves to experience this great shift of consciousness in the way that may sometimes be representative of the fears that they hold on to, but nevertheless thus then take upon themselves that experience for you, so that you may not necessarily need to experience it in the same physical way that they have allowed themselves to do. Out of love, they do this. In light, they do this. From inspiration and imagination, they do this. And thus then you become, with them, one family, one mind, one heart, one soul, one spirit. You are all, in this moment, Japanese in vibration. Watashi wa Nihonji. Watashi wa Nihonji. Watashi wa Nihonji. You are Japanese. Anata wa Nihonji. Anata wa Nihonji. Anata wa Nihonji. Be one with the family of all beings on your planet, focusing their attention, their love, their light, their inspiration and imagination on shifting to parallel realities, parallel worlds, parallel experiences in which already exists all the things that are far more representative of what you prefer, all the experiences, all the beings that are already reflective of who you truly are. Shift through the chakra of Mount Fuji, of Fujiyama, to all other chakras on the planet, to balance them out, all other vortices on the planet, to aid and assist with your love and your light here today in this way. You are one family, one world, one moment in time and space, one spirit, one heart, one mind, one body, one vibration coursing through you, beating from you, expanding outward like a crystalline shell of light, a crystalline sphere expanding from your heart at the speed of light. Wave after wave after wave of energy to allow them and you and everyone to shift and shift and shift in harmony with that wave, in harmony with that vibration. Know that you are felt. Know that you are loved. Know that you are made of all that is. And as you share of yourself in this way, this day of your time, know that you are putting out the vibration and frequency of healing light, so that all who may so choose, so that all who may so prefer, may match and harmonize with that vibration, with that frequency, and so raise themselves up into the light of a parallel reality of brightness and promise. The promise that is your true natural selves. Take a deep breath in. And with every breath out, know that you are sending that wave of energy out into the world, to Japan and every other place that is in harmony with that frequency. Take another deep breath in and let it out, and know that it is amplifying and magnifying that vibration in Japan and across the world. Take another deep breath in and hold it, and hold it, and hold it. And as you blow it out, you are blowing a new reality into the world, blowing a new wind into the sails that allow you to cross the sea in the ship that will reach the shores of your fellow family in Japan. And as you disembark and set your feet upon that shore, you are welcomed as family, you greet them as family, and you know that you are one family. A family floating in the unconditional love forever and ever of all that is. Allow yourselves now to relax. Let this seep in, and know that you are always and forever in touch with any being on your planet you so desire to be in touch with vibrationally. Open up your imagination and allow yourselves to feel the connections to all. And always send love and light upon those connections, so that it also may be reflected to all and back to you 1,000-fold in love and light, the love and light of infinite creation. For you are eternal beings in an adventure of a lifetime. Our unconditional love to you all. You may now slowly come back to whatever reality you have chosen to shift to, for we are there with you in this new parallel world. And